iGo Ladies Lounge Health and Wellness Show.
Welcome back to the Ladies Lounge podcast. My name is Chido. We're back again with another topic. I'm with Tari and I'm with Praise here. And we're going to get into it today with another hot topic, with another topic that many struggle with, setting boundaries and learning how to say no.
Oh my God.
That's an interesting one.
My
hey.
God. Hey,
I
no.
feel like starting now.
Oh.
No.
Okay, so just for your, information, according to Forbes, 76% of employees suffer from burnout, which could be prevented by just saying no.
I'll say it again. No.
That's not an easy one.
Here's another one. 50% of employees who do not say no, it is because of fear of conflict or of disappointing others, and that causes stress and anxiety. If you remember the last time we were talking about stress and anxiety, this is a part of it. Why we're so stressed out is because we're constantly thinking, I cannot say no to my boss, I cannot say no to my colleague, I cannot say no to whoever.
We just want to please,
And I feel like this is definitely a pertinent issue, especially with women. And Tari, I would just like to know, I want to understand, what is a boundary? What is this setting boundaries thing that we're talking about?
Okay. Thanks so much, hey. Good to have you all listening in again. So a boundary is exactly what you're thinking it is. Exactly what you're thinking. I know some of you are visualizing like a wall, a perimeter fence, something that is setting apart two different sides.
A line in the sand.
A line in the sand can be a boundary if you're an
That can
ant.
be blown away. Let's be clear. That one is a really like a flimsy boundary there.
And we have many of those everywhere.
Yeah, so those are physical boundaries that we have just described. But I want us to look more at the mental and emotional boundaries. So boundaries are limits that we set to protect our emotional, physical, and mental well-being. So they work to keep out the negative. They work to keep out people who affect us negatively. But also in the same sense, the same boundaries keep us away from other people.
Okay.
Because remember, it goes two ways. It takes two people to dance, right? So sometimes it is us who need to protect other people from ourselves. So we definitely need boundaries.
So random question, Tari.
Sure.
Is, because I've been seeing all of 2024, girl, mind your business, girl, drink your water. Is that a boundary? If I say, I'm minding my business.
Definitely. That is a very, very strong boundary. So what boundaries actually do for us is they promote self-respect. It is not every situation that you need to find yourself engaging in. Yeah, sometimes we have this habit of, if we don't have boundaries, we find ourselves dabbling in each and every situation, and most of those situations don't have anything to do with us. So having those particular set boundaries actually increases our own self-respect.
Great. So we're gonna just take a break to drink our water right in the studio, and we'll be back. Just take this time to think on, have you been setting boundaries? Do you have boundaries, or they are more like lines in the sand that can quickly be? Yes, and how many do you have? We're gonna take a short break and be right back.
You are doing a great job. Keep going, keep going. It's the iGo Movember Marathon in support of prostate cancer and men's health awareness. Seamless iGo is pioneering in bringing holistic health and wellness to members countrywide. For more information about iGo, call 0808 0001 up to 3 or visit seamless.co.zw. iGo, your partner in wellness.
So we're back, understanding boundaries and what they mean for our physical, mental, and emotional health. Tari, you were saying we should learn to set boundaries. Why are they good for us?
Okay, let's get right back into it. That time we talked about how setting boundaries helps us to develop a sense of self-respect for us. We can't keep dabbling into every Tom, Dick, and Harry's business.
Yeah.
We have to learn to set boundaries. So the second thing that setting boundaries does for us is that it protects our mental and emotional health. Our stress levels actually go down. So very important, particularly in the workplace. I mean, we are saying yes to everything, and learning to say no and where to say no and how to say no becomes very important for your mental and emotional health. And then the last thing that it does also is it helps us to avoid unnecessary overwhelm.
Okay.
So women, I think we talked about this in the last podcast. We were talking about how much we're so overwhelmed. We've got so many roles, and they say so many things that we are doing at the same time. Also, are all those roles necessary for us? Have we taken the time to sit down and tell ourselves, do I really need to be doing this? That's also part of setting boundaries.
That's pertinent stuff right there. Thank you for those pointers. I'm already seeing maybe it's not necessary that I be a girlfriend, you know.
Oh my God.
Okay, moving on. We want to know, what are the challenges? Like, why do people struggle to say no? Maybe Praise, you can take us through that.
Ever thought about, conflict? Like there's the times where you just be like, you know what, let me just be nice, let me not cause conflict, let me not ruffle the feathers.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say, okay, but whose feathers are being ruffled, mine or yours, by not saying no. So at the end of the day, fear of conflict usually is the key. You're afraid to ruffle your boss's feathers, you're afraid to step on your husband's toes, or you're afraid that he will go out, because he said no. But anyways, let's get back to it.
Then I'm called a difficult person.
Oh wow, yeah,
because you're not agreeable to everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's where you need that to see,
Okay.
All
right. What's another thing?
The other part now, you want to be there. What can it do? It woman or the queen bee, or you want everybody's approval.
Okay.
Everybody should look at you and nod and like, yeah, that's the woman right there.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you end up really frustrated, and it goes back to that stress we talked about. So the fear or the need, the desire to be approved by everybody. Not everybody wants to, should, or praise you or something.
Okay, one day in the future, we're gonna have to talk about why we feel the need to get approval. But for today, that's a strong one there.
A very strong one.
Yeah. What's another thing?
And overcommitment. Jack of all trades, eh?
Yeah.
A woman can multitask. A woman can do it.
Octopi.
Superwoman. Exactly. So at the end of the day, you just get overwhelmed. So it's important to understand that can actually happen to a person, and it's not necessary. That's where we have to be sure of those lines in the sand. And then lack of practice. If you're used saying yes, and I'm literally bending my knees because that's what women do or expected to do. Chikora muzura in Shona, So at the end of the day, the time that you need to say no, you were used to saying yes, you never practiced saying no. So for it to come out through those lips, it's like, no, I'm gonna offend someone. I'm gonna, I will lose my job. I will lose my husband. I will lose my kid. You just get so overwhelmed by just
And I
not
think
practicing to say no.
that's a cultural thing, isn't it?
It is.
Women cannot say no. Like in the African culture, I feel like we don't have room to do that. We're just always going to be the yes people because we have the capacity to do everything.
Social conditioning, we just groomed that way. I do appreciate the gospel, the submissiveness, but that's where we very need to know and understand or practice to say no to some of the things. We need to be submissive, yes, but which level is abuse? Which level is saying no?
Wow.
And then the other one is now misunderstanding those lines in the sand.
Misunderstanding boundaries. They're not clear.
Yeah.
It's when a no is like a maybe.
Yeah. and you know what? not that I'm blaming whichever gender, but sometimes it's really our fault as women because we're not clear. You say no, but like probably,
It's kind of like in the
like even your body is not saying no. You're not
Don't
being
even go there.
firm.
Don't even go there. I know so many of us listening through are like, girl.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So yeah, those are some of those things that then can be, challenging, and that's how most people end up in very difficult situations, and it just gets muddy.
Wow,
Very
I definitely need like a break to think about things because I'm seeing probably there's a lot of lines in the sand that I've drawn. Like I haven't been quite clear. So take this time to really introspect on, are you setting boundaries? Are those boundaries clear? What can you do to make sure that you're setting boundaries and actually lifting off a weight off of your shoulders? We'll be right back.
You are doing a great job. Keep going, keep going. It's the iGo Movember Marathon in support of prostate cancer and men's health awareness. SEMA's iGo is pioneering in bringing holistic health and wellness to members countrywide. For more information about iGo, call 0808 0001 up to 3 or visit semas.co.zw. iGo, your partner in wellness.
Okay, and we're back. Speaking on setting boundaries and saying no respectfully. We're really getting into the nitty-gritty of this topic. I feel like this is, I definitely need help on it, definitely. And I'm a whole wellness coach. So I feel like, yes, this is going to help someone. And I hope you're listening in. I hope you take time to listen to the whole podcast and give us your comments, give us your feedback whenever you get to it. So Tari, take us through, how can I set boundaries? What are the strategies that I can use? Because I feel like now this has to be a strategic plan. I need to sit down, really think about it, because yes, these are really pertinent issues. And we face this as women on a day-to-day. Even when you're trying to buy something in a shop, someone's going to step on your boundaries, Even when you're just getting into public transport, someone's going to encroach in your boundaries. So we really, really need ways to get through this. How do we do it?
I absolutely love what you said about, making strategic. Because you see, everything we do that has to do with our mental health or our physical wellness is intentional. We have to be selfish with our wellness. Because if we are not there for ourselves, if we are not good enough to be strong for ourselves, we cannot then be there for other people.
Yeah.
So in our trainings, I come across this question a lot. When I'm training on things like boundaries and etc. I remember one lady asked me, well, Tari, I set boundaries, but people around me do not respect them.
Yeah.
How many of you can relate to that? You've clearly
definitely.
said to somebody, please do not treat me this way. Please do not give me extra work on weekends.
But they continue.
To do that.
They do.
And you feel you have clearly outlined your needs, you have clearly outlined your boundaries.
People can be disrespectful, eh?
Yes, they can. And there's nothing we can do about people being disrespectful.
Yeah.
But what we can do, rather, is to increase the strength of our boundaries. So we need to master the first thing of communication. Clear, concise communication.
Maybe no, yes.
Not a no, yes, not a maybe. But when we want to say no, and we have to learn the art of saying no respectfully, we have to learn the art of being assertive. So assertiveness is going to come with the tone of your voice. It's going to come with the tone of your body language. It's also going to come with the kind of words that are coming out of your mouth. So it's very important when you want to master assertiveness in saying no, your body's language must be congruent to what you are saying.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that then help eliminate that element of rejection? When a person feels rejected, they become aggressive. Does that help? If I manage to learn that assertiveness,
Okay.
does that help sort of remove that negative impact of
From the other person.
Yeah.
Well, it's very important to note that we are in no way in any control over how some people are going to react towards our boundaries. And it's also important at this moment to note that when you are a person who did not outline their boundaries strongly and you decide today from this podcast that from today on I will be setting boundaries, remember you'll be faced with a lot of negativity. People will start to look at you as if you are now stubborn, as if you have changed. In Shona, they'll say they will describe all these negative things because you have finally set up a boundary. But I want to encourage you today as a wellness coach, when you have decided to do that, continue in that. They will end up relating to the new boundaries you've set.
Preach, my sister, preach.
Oh yes, can I get an official basket?
Oh my God.
Can I get an amen?
No.
Okay. So you're
she
saying
said no.
So you're saying I should be assertive. How do I do that? Because yes, we're talking about as women, we're already, there's always this negativity when I say no in a firm way. And they just like, oh, she's
being independent.
And you feel this little tremor within your own body. Like, I just said no. And you're even afraid of yourself. So what we can do with that, I will say this again and again and again. You'll hear this continuously. Soft skills are like any other skill. It takes practice and repetition. So you really have to regularly adjust yourself, practice on people as you strengthen that skill.
Wow, that's great stuff. So I'm gonna take a break to work on my body language whilst I'm being assertive, like Tari is teaching me. Please reach out to the iGo team. If you want to learn something new, a soft skill that you feel like is relevant for your day-to-day life, we're here for you. Anything psychosocial that's affecting you, we're here for you. Please reach out to the iGo team and we will help you through. We're taking a break.
You are doing a great job. Keep going. It's the iGo Movember Marathon in support of prostate cancer and men's health awareness. Seamless iGo is pioneering in bringing holistic health and wellness to members countrywide. For more information about iGo, call 0808 0001 up to 3 or visit seamless.co.zw. iGo, your partner in wellness.
Thank you guys for staying tuned in. This is, wahala that we are facing here with this topic. Saying no respectfully and setting your boundaries. So I'm just going to ask a question to my fellow coaches over here and they're going to help us through a situation. So imagine this. I am the eldest daughter in my family. In Shona would say, Zitete Ziguru, like I'm the eldest. And when that happens, that means most of the responsibility is put on me, especially when it comes to the sustenance of the family. So what do I do, guys? I am Zitete Ziwombe. Yes, I work at Simas. Yes, people think I have money. And yes, everyone, including my extended family, the tete of the seguro of the what, are always asking me for money. Black tax. How do we handle such situations when I'm trying to set boundaries? I'm trying to say no, because we know as Africans, you can't say no to your family. They raised you, they birthed you, they fed you. Now you want to say no.
Send you to
How
school.
do I handle that? Yeah.
This is a very tricky situation, and many of women, even men, find themselves in this particular spot. So I remember the strategies for saying no. Number one, you really need to ascertain your own personal values by yourself. If you have got set values and life goals, right? And you know these. If your value is family values, if your values is health values, you really need to know your values. So if this particular black text situation is in alignment with your values, right? And there should not be too much conflict. But if the black text is not in alignment with your personal values and goals, then you have to say no. And how to say no now, this is where I'm going to give an example saying no. So maybe I will ask Chido. Chido, can you be the relative who's asking for money? Let's do it. Let's make it real here.
All right.
Yeah.
Tete Tari, unoziva takutoda kutonovhara zvikoro but mukuziva kuti chi muzukuru wenyu kaari kuenda kuchikoro next year form 4 chichi mauniform zvakandidzvanya inini because motondiziva handishandi kusimasi and things are tight. Can I have some money please? And vanoenda kakuboarding saka that's 1,500. She's gonna need uniforms, that's about 400. So ngatingoti 2k to be safe.
Right. So this is Dilitari responding to Murora Chiro. Murora, thank you so much for visiting me. Wopati pakaipa. Ndokunyatsokuona kuti zvinhu zviri kudiwa zvakawanda. And then I take time to look at the list that she's requested, right? And then after a while of considering, because I'm checking in with my values and my goals, right? And I'm trying to set a boundary right here and right now. My response would be, this is very important. But as it is right now, I'm not able to assist you because I'm in a couple of projects and they require my full attention and commitment. At this particular moment, I'm sorry, I'll have to let you down.
Listen, I don't know how that's gonna go, but we're gonna leave it there today. Please go think on it. Like Tari was saying, like Praise was saying, practice. People will get used to it. Know your values, know what you value, know what's important to you, and do that. We're gonna check in with you next week. Please, if you have any feedback for us, please let us know. Let us know what you'd like to talk about. Please let us know what you're going through so that we can help you through it. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, saying no is okay.
iGo Ladies Lounge Health and Wellness Show.